Hello, I am Janice B. Gordon, co-president of the Professional Speakers Association and visiting fellow of Cranfield School of Management, consulting and training sales teams in key account management. As a professional speaker, I speak about scaling your sales, but I'm really happy to be up close and personal with the gorgeous Claire Boyles. Hello, Claire.
Hi, Janice. Lovely to be here.
Hi. Let me introduce Claire. Now, I know from personal experience that Claire builds businesses the right way from day one, helping them avoid the mistakes that cause 90% of businesses to fail. Claire is a professional speaker, trainer, business consultant, and coach. She helps people transition from employee to entrepreneur so that they get to build the business that they want and they love. Awarded innovative marketing, engaging media personality. Now that is quite a mouthful.
That's a lot of work for that award.
In June 2013, as judged by David Keene, head of enterprise marketing for UK and Ireland Google. In 2012, Claire led and created the social media strategy for one of the largest business shows with the likes of James Caan, Richard Branson, as you know, guys, I love Richard Branson, and Lord Sugar as keynotes. Now, Claire has also spoken on stage next to best-selling authors Michael Heppel, who wrote How to Be Brilliant, and Jim Collins from Good to Great fame. Welcome, Claire.
Thank you, Janice. I sound quite cool.
You are cool. Of course you're cool. Now, I want to know really about your early life. What is it that you have taken forward, or what has been your biggest impact from your early life?
It's interesting because one of the things when people get to know me, and you'll be hearing this as I'm speaking, is that I have a variety of different accents when I talk, and there are different phrases that I've picked up from different places I've lived in my childhood. So my dad was from Belfast and my mum was from Hampshire. And I spent 13 years of my childhood living in Germany, but going to an English-speaking school with children from Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland. So whoever I was hanging out with, I might have learned and picked up phrases or things. And I've picked up a variety of accents. And although it makes for interesting listening when people are listening to me for the first time and wondering, where is she from? And the most often guess that I get is from the West Country. And I don't know where that comes from, quite honestly. I spent 6 weeks in Bristol one summer when I was about 21. But the key thing that actually helps me more than anything else in my business from my childhood is the fact that I did move to different places because my dad's job meant that we had to move, and it helped me understand how to adapt and fit in to new social circles very quickly. So it gave me really good skills of adaptation and resilience, but also in terms of reading and understanding what people wanted from me. And that's a big foundation of the marketing that I do. It's all about the psychology of people, understanding what people want, communicating clearly so that you can make a positive emotional connection with them. So that definitely comes from the experiences I've had as a child.
Fabulous. Yeah. I remember when I first met you, I said that as well. Where are you from? And I'm sure I said the West Country. I've always remembered that.
Yeah, it's funny. So when I first started in business, I was based in Dublin, and I lived in Dublin for 10 years. And one of the first ever promotional videos that I did, I watched it on YouTube last year for the first time in, I don't know, about 8 years or something. And as I was listening, I was like, oh my God, I can hear the Dublin accent coming through. So again, it's kind of, obviously people from Dublin would know that I'm not from Dublin, but yeah, so I've kind of picked up and I morph, and I find that's a good way to try and connect to people. And it's not that I'm trying to copy them, but it's just a subconscious thing that I reflect back the language. And I'm sure if I ever move away from St Albans, where I live now, just outside London, that my accent might change again. Who knows?
I'm sure it will, all into the melting pot.
Yeah.
So Claire, what do you see as the most valuable benefit of being a professional speaker and part of the Professional Speakers Association?
I think that's two powerful questions actually in one. So as a speaker, for me, the personal benefit is that I know I get excited about the things that I have discovered on my business journey. And that's why I do what I do today. When I first registered my first business in 2007, within a year I'd failed monumentally and had no income from it, but I'd spent about 100,000 euros because I was in Dublin at that point, and I didn't see a return on investment. But then as I discovered the things that actually worked, I wanted to share them with people. So my previous life, I'd been an HR manager, so I understood how to design and deliver training programs, and I did that in my corporate life for big businesses, and I designed and delivered induction programs and all sorts of training. So for me, the speaking part is about sharing something that I know is pretty amazing and will add massive value to the people that are listening to me. So that is the big benefit of the professional speaking part. And then being part of the Professional Speaking Association is even better. So I was thinking about this earlier because I thought you might want to ask about, my role and what I do in the PSA. And so the earrings I'm wearing were gifted to me by a PSA member, and the cup that I'm drinking out of, it's gifted to me by a PSA member, both of which are my favorite colors and my brand colors. So it's it's the camaraderie, it's the friendships, it's the relationships that I've built over the years of being in PSA. The people in the PSA are my tribe. They are my sometimes, the mastermind that we meet regularly, and we're all members of the PSA and we all speak professionally. They are what I would call my business family. They're the core people that I share things with in my business and what I've learned in speaking, and we support each other in developing our speaking businesses. But they're all in the PSA, and we have that common bond. There's similarities between us. We share the challenge of not only marketing and growing a business, but marketing and growing a business where we are selling ourselves individually, and that can be a huge challenge. So in terms of what do I get out of the PSA, a sense of belonging, a sense of reward because of the service that I do when I serve and I volunteer within the PSA, and a sense that there's people that have my back and are looking out for me and supporting me and care about my success. And yeah, I get quite a lot from the PSA.
And actually, that's really how we met as well, really. Although I wasn't a member at the time, but I think I connected with you on LinkedIn. Because I was speaking outside of the community, I really wanted to find out a lot more. And you're the only person that I knew, and you were the very much at the forefront of helping me to join the organization. So thank you for that. Yeah, because you're absolutely right. It is an incredible community. Now, Claire, I know you delivered a keynote in Dubai at the Planners Extraordinaire, which is a wedding convention of planners. So tell us more about that, because that's quite an exciting experience.
Yes, it's the biggest keynote that I've done in my speaking career. So it was very exciting, and that came to me because of the relationships that I built within the PSA. So Warren Knight had been approached to speak himself, and he wasn't available, and he posted online asking for people, speakers, professional speakers with experience on social media and in the wedding industry. And two of my PSA colleagues both immediately said, oh, you need to speak to Claire about that, you know, and I have designed and delivered a Book More Brides boot camp. So we delivered that. So it's training for wedding businesses. And so I had the experience, the relevant industry experience. And it's the event itself was for luxury wedding planners and event planners. So their audience or their customers are the types of customers that have millions of pounds budget for each event. So it was very exciting to be around people. I wish that each one of my clients would net me a cool million. That would be nice. So it was lovely. It was lovely to be flown out to Dubai and negotiate and have a great experience in Dubai. I fell in love with Dubai. I thought it was brilliant. I loved it. I loved the architecture. I love architecture. But every single moment that I was there, the thoughts that I was thinking about preparing for the event, you know, doing my slides, you know, making sure that I had my clothes ready the night before, all of these little things are all tips that I have picked up through other professional speakers sharing about how they prepare and how they deliver a truly professional service and quality of service when they're speaking at an event. So I had all of these thoughts in mind, and that's the kind of thing where, you know, you feel like you've got a team with you, although you're out on your own business, because we have a network within the PSA of great people who are willing to share and encourage and support each other. Those people were in my head as I was delivering, and it was brilliant. It was really good. It was received very well, and it was useful. You know, even the people that I would consider have amazing marketing and, you know, presence, my speech, the keynote, helped them understand how to get much more value out of online marketing as well. So that was very rewarding, and it was fun.
Great. I mean, it's interesting what you say about having your team. It's almost like a virtual team. Running a business is extremely lonely, so it's a real asset. And I would imagine that that's perhaps one of the roles that you play when you help businesses earn a living, thrive, and doing what they love. So, you know, how do you go about building a business and a brand and a personality?
Well, I'm going to go into that in a lot of detail when I'm speaking at the PSA Southeast event. So if anybody doesn't have it in their diary yet, they need to pop that in. So that's on the 3rd of July. What venue is it, Janice? Where are we in there?
It's Brands Hatch Hotel.
Great. So I'm going to go into much more detail, but it's partly some of the things that I've already said about what's important in marketing is about understanding yourself and adapting your communication to your audience. Now, when people first start out in when they are developing their brand and their marketing for professional speaking, it can be a huge challenge between the marketing version of themselves and who they are as individuals. And there needs to be a connection and an authenticity between those two. So, part of my brand and my marketing is about how I dress and the colors that I use. And that's an authentic part of my nature. I would never be the type of person that would wear black. It's not my color. So you have to find the aspects of your personality that you want to shine through in your marketing, but also those bits that are going to land well towards your potential customers. So if your customers love black and you always wear yellow or in my case turquoise or blue, they're going to resonate less with you. They're going to not maybe connect so strongly emotionally. So yeah, it's there is a lot to it, but the process that I've developed to help people really understand so that they can develop brilliant confidence in their own marketing as a professional speaker is one that came to me because I started teaching Tweeting for Business Success seminars back in 2009. And one of the most common questions people asked me was, but I don't know what to tweet. I don't know what to talk about. You know, they didn't understand, you know, where's the line between social and business. And when you are running your own business, you're your best brand ambassador. You are the leader of the brand. And you need to find a way where you're feeling confident on your feet, that you are being authentic in yourself, but that it is appropriate for your business audience and it's of value as well. So yeah, so I have a nice little model to help people explore exactly what that means for them, which we'll be doing on the 3rd of July in PSA Southeast.
You're not in sales, are you? The amount of promotion that you've done. Talking about sales, Claire, I consult, train salespeople to scale their sales, and I'm interested to know your sales system, your sales process.
So my sales process is basically I do marketing, so that when leads are generated, they 95% of the time they come through referrals, and that means that somebody else has already had experience of me, has worked with me, is telling somebody else, you need to go and speak to Claire. What Claire does is exactly what you need right now to achieve the goal that you're working towards. So by the time they reach out to me, it's a matter of having a conversation, explaining the way I work, and what I usually do is I say, well, look, I offer a free business coaching session. So particularly for PSA members, I'm really keen to do this. So I will spend a couple of hours with somebody, helping them clarify their business goals and creating a powerful business strategy and marketing strategy. So I'm quite happy to spend a few hours with somebody to show them how I work, to give them the experience of that. And then at the end of it, either they become my client, they become my customer, or they become another advocate and referral source for me, so that they can tell other people exactly what I do and how I work. So that's it. So I don't like cold sales. I don't like trying to manipulate people, and I find it's much easier to convert a lead into a sale when they already know I'm good. I don't have to prove myself, because other people that they know and trust have already told them that I'm good and that I can deliver value. So yeah, so my sales strategy is do all the marketing, so I don't really have to sell very much.
And also, you teaching other people to do that as well. Yes. So that they feel comfortable portraying their brand online and offline, so people are attracted to them and come to them. Because you don't just work with speakers, do you?
No. I work with all sorts. So Sam Bubble Man is one of my favorite clients to talk about, because I talk about working with businesses that help people be happy, healthy, or wealthy. And Sam literally has built a business about blowing bubbles, and he goes around the world doing massive stage tours with huge giant bubbles, and he's got loads of Guinness World Records of the world's largest bubble and things like that. But he also has sells bubble toys. So there's two parts of his business, and I've been working with him for a few years now, and that's fun. So speakers, because I have a strong network with speaking, then that's something I work with. Professional photographers is another one. So my only requirement in terms of the type of business that I work with is that they have to have a positive impact on the world. So it's about my brand, which ethics and morality, and I want to have a positive impact on anything, as much as possible. So yeah, so that's the only requirement really. And I love the new challenge. This is why I set up my business. So I'm doing what I love, which is marketing, but each new client is a new challenge. It's a new sector, or it might not be totally new. I was talking about weddings earlier. So I've worked a lot with weddings, and I've created unique programs for wedding businesses. So it keeps me interested. I'm very creative. I like new things and new projects, but the core of it is consistent. It's really about communicating in the right way in the brand. And the way I operate online and at events and just through the general networking, people generally understand who I am and what I'm about before they meet me. So I ran a local networking group in St Albans, and it was once a month, and that was yesterday morning. There were 3 other people there that had known me for over a year online, and this was the first time they'd had the opportunity to meet me in person. So, you know, that's, you know, people know before they get to actually experience me. And that's in terms of marketing, we often talk about funnels. So the top of the funnel is the marketing, the exposure, so that the people are aware, and then they filter down, and by the time they get to me, I don't need to sell so much. And one of my favorite phrases that I talk about with my customers all the time is, I help you turn your customers into raving fans who do your marketing for you. So I'm a bit lazy when it comes to marketing and sales, because I want other people to do it, because it's much more effective.
Well, it is much more effective. And I'm not sure if it's about being lazy, because you've done all of the work or the groundwork leading up to that. And had you not spent the time and energy honing that and getting it right, then it wouldn't be such an easy sell that people want to buy you. And you're absolutely right. I was at the business show the other day, and it's really quite disconcerting sometimes when people rush up to you, big smile, and I'm thinking, do I know them? Where do I know them from? Have I forgotten them? All of this stuff. And actually, it's just that they see me online, and they're so happy because, you know, finally they meet the person. But I'm really kind of thinking, have I forgotten their name? Where did I meet them before?
Yeah. It tries to go through in your head, isn't it? Where is it? Where is it? And then as they're talking, and usually for me, within a minute, I'll get it, and I go, oh, that's who you are. Yes.
Yes,
but
exactly.
it's actually one of the biggest challenges as professional speakers that we have, because we're the only person on stage. They remember us, but you know, we have an audience of whether it's 10, 20, or 200 or 2,000. There are a lot of different people, so the chances that we're going to remember all of the individuals who have experienced us is quite small. Although we do have some of our members of the PSA, I know, are memory experts, so maybe we should go as professional speakers to work out, try and remember people better.
But isn't it about whether we're pitching to other companies, other businesses, or they're pitching to us as speakers? It's actually about raising your game so that you are easily identifiable. So I always say to people, the people I want to influence and get a coffee with, I will big them up big time socially. I will read everything that I see. I will comment. I'm popping up on their timeline all the time, and they're thinking, who on earth is this person that keeps kind of like shining glory all over me? You become memorable. So when you actually approach them, they think, oh, they're curious. They want to meet you. I mean, really share the love and overload the people that you want to influence with it. Connect them up even before you've met them, and certainly don't pitch them until you really feel that they kind of feel that either they're curious or a little bit in your depth because you've introduced them to people. Again, that's about all of the influencing, all of the marketing, so that when you actually come to sell or you know, make an offer, then it's easy. They either like you or they don't like you. You've got a strong brand. They love your personality, but also because you've given to them as well.
Yeah, I have a workshop or a seminar that I do on that, which is all about building networking relationships. Because often when people start networking, you know, they meet people and it's shoving the business card in somebody's face. Oh, here's my business card, you know, and then they go around and give everybody their business card. And it's about the relationships. And the way I describe it is, it's a bit like having a savings account. You need to make regular deposits over time before your, you know, amount accumulates and that you're able to withdraw it without having penalties. Because if you have a savings account and you take it out too quickly, then, you know, they've got these limits and then you get penalties and you lose your interest and all of that. And in terms of business relationships, you actually can damage that relationship permanently. And it's certainly something that I did when I, you know, back in 2007, 2008, I remember meeting one particular person at a big event, and they were talking about what they were doing. And I was like, oh my God, this would be perfect because I'm doing this. And then we work together. And it's like, and he was completely overwhelmed because he didn't know who I was. And it's like, oh my God, you know, and I could see in his face, and I was like, oh my God, I made a mistake. And he kind of read the expression in his face, like, get this woman away from me. So
security.
Yeah, we learn from our mistakes, and that's really what I love about the PSA, is that we can share about our mistakes as well as our successes, so that we don't all have to make the same mistakes. And that really is about the passion for me and my business. Most businesses don't survive beyond 3 years. You know, the ones that are registered, they're just not around anymore. Partly it's because they've not done enough market research, and there aren't enough people that want to pay for the product or service that they're delivering in their business. But also, a lot of the time, people don't understand the level of investment it takes to build your own business, financially and energy, expertise, time, you know, all of that. And I think the people that survive are the people that might have a touch of workaholism. Not that I'm like that myself, you know. I love my job and I want to do it, you know. I love what I do, and one of the biggest challenge I have is actually remembering to schedule enough breaks and take care of myself. And you know, I've had quite a few physical challenges of late, and you know, the latest being, you know, getting 2 new hips installed, and now being #bionic Boyles. But you know, it's managing the business, and you know, you're part of the personality, but your business needs to survive without you. And you know, for me, obviously, I'm delivering a direct service as a speaker and a coach. That's what I do. But because the brand and the marketing is there, whenever I come back into health, then the leads are coming through, because the people then know, oh, you're back, great. I wanted to introduce you to, you know, and the referrals carry on. Sorry, I just meandered a little bit there going round, but I hope that's interesting.
I was thinking when you were talking, I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he took a Q&A, and someone asked him, saying, I've got this problem, I've been in business for 6 years, and you know, it's very much what you were saying, the expectation startups have that it's all going to happen really quickly, and quickly is in the first 3 years, and actually it's not. Everything that you think is going to happen, it's going to take longer, or it's not going to happen at all, and it's really difficult to plan for that, or to factor that in. And he said, look, don't even come and talk to me until you're 6 years in. Really, because actually everything changes, you're still learning, and the assumptions that you've got are completely going to change. You've really got to be, you know, over the top, absolutely, and it's not even passionate, and persistent, but it's got to be, you're living and breathing it, really. And that's why it's quite difficult on health, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. You mentioned about the Dubai keynote, which I'd like a few more of those. So if anybody else knows of Dubai keynotes that around branding and marketing, please let me know. I'd love to do those. But you know, that opportunity arose because, you know, I built the Book More Brides bootcamp. With one of my first ever clients, actually, from Dublin, who is a very experienced wedding planner. So we built that course, but it was because of the people in the PSA who knew that was like 4 years before. They knew that I did that because I was talking to them about it, and they were aware of it. So when this opportunity came up, they were immediately able to say, yes, Claire is the perfect sweet spot between, you know, marketing and wedding business. You need to speak to her. But that opportunity arose out of something I did 4 years before. So yes, there's a lot of time, and certainly the more time goes on, the easier it is in terms of for my marketing, because I don't have to work so hard to achieve brand awareness and recognition, if you like. Yeah,
but you've just got to be obsessive, completely obsessive about it for years and years and years and years, and then the return starts coming in, you hope.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it can happen sooner, and it does happen sooner. You know, I've worked with you know, new members of the Professional Speaking Association. They've come in and they want to transition from their corporate lives, and I've worked with them, and you know, you can get big keynotes in your first year if you've got the right foundations and if you've got the right marketing strategy. It can happen, but usually that's aligned with a lot of opportunities to speak in front of the right audience, so the right people can refer and recommend you, which is one of the great values speaking with a PSA audience, in the regions and speaking of that. So I really encourage any PSA members to do that, to look at the regions and go around, like we had our travel adventure to visit the regions. Do that more, and I've done it a lot, and I'm hoping now in the next 6 months I'll start doing that again, now that my health has restored, my hips are working fine, and it gives you a great sense of value because you're serving, but also it's a much wider audience can understand the value that you deliver from stage. And you also get feedback from professional speakers. They can see the mistakes that most audiences won't notice or won't be aware of. And they'll not only tell you what the weak points are, they'll tell you how to overcome them so that you don't do them again. So yeah, definitely speak at PSA. Good.
Yeah, and it's not just the PSA. It's in general in business. It's important just to get out face to face, meet your potential customers, your competitors. And it's amazing what feedback you get. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I remember when I moved from Dublin to London.
I've just got one more question for you, Claire. Now, if you were on a desert island alone, well, two more questions. What is the one thing that you would take with you?
Lewis, my love of my life, my partner, Lewis. He's not a thing, but that's the first thing that springs to mind.
You can take whatever you like, and if it's Lewis it will be. He's yours.
I will take Lewis. He is mine. I'm very happy. Yes, I would want Lewis to be with me on a desert island.
You're making it sound wonderful, actually. It's a shame no one else is invited.
Yeah, it's funny. So I had a very interesting meeting this week with a travel planner, but he only works with businesses. So he plans travel packages for businesses that want to add value to either their own teams or to their customers as a USP. So the idea of being on a desert island, hanging out with people is something that I quite like, and might very well be on the cards for some sort of business retreat in the future that I'm organising, maybe.
Sounds wonderful. So, Claire, it'd be lovely. What's the title of your presentation at PSA Southeast on the 3rd?
It's all about finding your business voice. So it's all about finding your business voice.
Brilliant. So absolutely fantastic talking to you, Claire. Really looking forward to hear more of your system of finding your business voice at the PSA Southeast at Bransac Hotel on July the 3rd. Can't wait to actually hear you speak. It's been wonderful talking to you on this up close and personal, Claire. I know you well. I think I know you well, but I'm always finding out more and more about you. You've got so much experience and knowledge. And when I was reading your profile, I found out even more about your background, about our connection with Richard Branson, which I'm not sure I'm happy about, but there you go.
Go on. I was going to tell you something around the.
Go on then. Really tell us.
So it was actually Heather Townsend in the PSA. Another reason why you get value from the PSA. So Heather Townsend discovered there was an offer through appsumo.com of Lumen 5, which is a video creating software, which makes creating videos really easy. You can literally just drop in a link for a blog post, and it pulls the text and the images and turns it into a video. And you might do a little tweaking in that. But yeah, so I did one for one of the business networking events that I run, and I just dropped in the photo of myself with Richard Branson saying, yes, when Claire was working on a business show where Richard Branson was speaking, here she is backstage. And it's funny, it's a few people that have seen it have laughed and like, oh, just casually dropping in there. It's like, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't hang out on Necker Island with Richard Branson, but
not yet.
It's nice.
Yeah, I might be beating you to it. Get my elbows out, All right, lovely, Claire. Lovely speaking to you.
And I'll speak to you again soon. Thanks, Janice.